Not at 60 degrees.
No, but you've got color in your face. You've been outdoors.
So when we open it up, okay, discussion.
Yeah, just on that personnel.
Okay, perfect. Okay, this meeting is of the Board of Education for the public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not considered a public community meeting. This is also a special meeting. Okay, roll call.
Mrs. DeTore? Here. Mr. Douglas?
Here.
Mr. Katowski?
Here.
Dr. Phelps?
Here.
Mr. Thorson?
Here. Pledge of allegiance, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Superintendent's recommendations, personnel.
Thank you. Before we get started here on staff appointment, item 2, Barbara Van Etten. She just needs to be on a limited contract, not a continuing, since she is a retired rehire. Before you vote on that.
You can make that change, right?
Yes. And then the only items I have under my recommendations are items 1, administrative appointment for Ken Bernacki to be hired as Director of Pupil Personnel. And then we have 2 certified appointments for our custodian and then our special ed aide. And that is all.
Okay, so in order to have discussion, we need a motion. Okay, motion to approve. Do I have a motion to approve superintendent's recommendations for personnel?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Sure. Mr. Nutter, so I didn't know Ken was interested in this position, but how many applicants did you have?
We were a few online, but on Apple Track, but Mr. Bernacki had approached me a while back and said he was interested. We had a conversation about that. He's got a lot of background with special ed and some of the units being over there, and he's interested in pursuing that as well. So when I had the discussion.
How many people did you interview for this position?
Just Mr. Bernacki.
Just Mr. Bernacki?
Yes.
No.
Just Mr. Bernacki, Ben.
Okay, that's it.
Yep.
Okay, I find that kind of concerning. I mean, because certainly we want to find the best qualified person, and with interviewing no one, you determined that Mr. Bernacki is the best person for the job.
Yes, I did. That was my recommendation.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a rhetorical
So are you in agreement with
question.
that recommendation or not agreeing with that?
I'm
Do you think,
kind of surprised.
that Mr. Bernacki would be a good position to do pupil services, or do you think he
Well,
might not be
we have 2 questions. Are we doing due diligence, finding the best person for the job?
Okay.
Is the first question. The second question is,
I mean, I guess you
Why
can have that
not?
question any time that we have somebody that we promote from within, correct? I mean, is it,
yeah.
I mean, you could say that. But from your standpoint, do you think that Mr. Bernacki would do a good job, or do you think he might not be the best qualified candidate?
Well, I'm concerned because his background is not in special education. He has been a principal and a teacher, which certainly being a principal brushes up against special education because you're constantly dealing with the issues. But it doesn't make you a specialist in it, and it seems that with the contraction of school districts around the state, that there should be some really qualified people out there. And that's why I'm kind of surprised that we did not interview anybody but Mr. Bernacki, even to benchmark Mr. Bernacki against those candidates.
See, I thought it was a great move because we were hiring from within, personally. But again, that's just my opinion. He has great recommendations. He's got some great credentials. You get a chance to read over his. Did you get a chance to
I
read
just
over
got
his
this now.
resume?
Was this emailed to us?
It sure was. It was on Friday.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
It was emailed to you on Friday.
Yeah, I wish I.
Michael, did you have a chance to read over all this?
Mm-hmm.
You came prepared for the board meeting. Thank you. What do you think about this move? Do you think Ken is? I think it's an excellent move for us. He wants to do this. He's in our district. He's been here. He's what I would consider a gem for us. at WestGBr. Do you think this is I mean, you have some great human resources skills. That's why I'm looking for your opinion.
Well, I recognize he's an internal candidate, and the only thing I was wondering about, and I think Mr. Nutter already answered this, is that did we get a lot of other applicants that maybe would have experience in that area? I don't have a problem with Mr. Bernanke, though. I mean, if that's what you're asking me, that he's interested in the position, I think we should give him consideration.
But I think it's similar to the technology director's job. I mean, that was internal, and these questions weren't, I mean, that was internal.
Yeah,
candidate as
this is a
well.
much higher level job. This is
Well, I think they're both equally
one of like
important.
3 or 4 key positions. Well, they're directly working with students, futures, and certainly there's a lot of money at stake with this. And this, how many applications did we get anyway, exactly?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Well, more than 10?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, more than 5?
I'm not sure. That's my recommendation.
Okay.
Well, I understand. I want you to defend it because I'd
Jackie,
like to know where you're coming from and why no one else was interviewed, why it was only 10.
Again, Jackie, do you have any opinion one way or another, Mr. Bernanke?
No, I think he'll do great at the position. I think he is very well liked by the parents and community at Lindsay. I think that the only issue here is that they'll be devastated to lose him, but I think he can help the district in a broader scope now, as opposed to just one building, and I think he'll do a great job.
Tom, any thoughts about it?
When did the position become available? I don't remember.
Deb's retirement was at the end.
Expected prior to me coming here.
That was before you came, so did...
I think it was May she announced her retirement.
So was anything done before you came?
No,
So there was no candidates looked at before you came? Or initiated?
not to my knowledge.
Okay. I mean, I think, Mr. Bernanke's been through, the elementary system, and he, I think it's going to be a tough job. My question would be how, if you posted the job, it could take 3 to 6 months to hire somebody. I mean, we need someone today. We needed somebody yesterday because she gave notice back when,
About May, I think it was our May meeting that she announced that she was doing her retirement. Because it was the same time around where we were doing extensions of contracts, and then we were announcing retirement, so yeah, I believe it was a May meeting.
Yes, I believe he'd be a good job, but I don't know, I was just wondering if anything was done before you came on board.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, let's do roll call.
Mrs. DeTore?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Katowski?
With all respect to Ken Bernanke, who was a great guy and a good principal, no.
Okay, approve agreement with Madison Local School District to provide interim treasurer services through August 31st, 2014. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Basically, we've talked to Madison. We're going to go into executive session to talk a little bit further about our search for a treasurer. But as you know, we have to have a treasurer of record. Madison has agreed to extend this agreement with us through August. Shauna sent me an email, which I thought was excellent, to say, listen, I'm on board as long as you guys need me to be. And we surely appreciate it. So roll call, please.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mrs. DeTore?
Yes.
Mr. Katowski?
Yes.
Okay, move to go into executive session, Ohio Revised Code 121.22 G1, employment of public employee or official. There won't be any other business done after that executive session. So we'll take the executive session. What time are we out? Do I have, roll call would be to go into executive session, correct?
Right, you need a motion.
I
Need a
make
motion? Okay. And then a second.
Second.
Roll call?
Mrs. DeTore?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes.
Mr. Katowski?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
We'd also like to invite Mr. Wilson in that executive session. We need a motion to come out of executive session?
No.
No, we're out of executive session, take the time. Announcement of our next board meeting will be August 18th, 7 PM in this room. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Well, before we do that, am I allowed to talk about the announcement of the next board meeting? And can I request something to be on the agenda? Can we make sure that we get the first reading on?
You
Do
come
you
out,
have a special meeting? I don't know.
you can just add that later for the regular meeting.
Okay. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Detour?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Katsowski?
Yes.
Dr. Phelps?
Yes.
Mr. Thorson?
Yes. Adjourn.